Husbands and fathers, I need you to come to the front of the class, sit down, and listen up. We're going to get right into it. Some of you guys are going to end up being financially responsible for a child that's not even yours. As I tell you this story, buckle up because we're about to go on a bumpy ride. And I'm so glad that my client gave me the clearance to tell this story because it's about to help so many people. So I have a client, soon to be my former client, because all we're waiting for is the judge to sign his divorce decree. They've been married more than 5 but less than 10 years, and there's 2 children involved. This is where the problem lies. So wife gets pregnant with baby number 1 within the first couple years of them being married, but come to find out, wife has been cheating. Husband finds out about the affair while wife is pregnant, so now husband is concerned about the paternity of the child. Wife swears up and down that her husband is the father and that she only had an emotional affair with old buddy. Husband is kind of sort of believing in his wife. He wants this to be his child. It's a little boy, and they plan on making him a junior. So baby is born. They have a DNA test done in the hospital, and say it with me, husband is not the father. Long story short, he decides to forgive his wife. He decides to raise this child as his own. This child is a junior, and it was just going to be a little secret between him and his wife. Fast forward a couple years later, they go on to have another child, another little boy, so now they have 2 sons. So son number 1 is not biologically his, but son number 2 is. Fast forward, their marriage is in shambles. Wife is having an affair with somebody at work, and husband has had enough, and he's finally ready to leave. Side note, husband is definitely more connected and attached to son number 2. Even though son number 1 is a junior, this child looks nothing like the husband or the wife, so we are willing to bet that he probably looks like his biological father. So now we're in the divorce proceedings, and when you file for divorce, you have to let the court know how many children were born of their marriage, and husband only listed son number 2. So this is where all the trouble began, because according to Texas law, when a child is born and the couple is married, the husband is automatically that child's legal father. What husband needed to do to be off the hook was sign a denial of paternity at the hospital, then file a petition to adjudicate parentage with the court so that the biological father could be listed as that child's legal parent. But he didn't do that. Although he knew that he was not the biological father, he decided to raise this child as his own. But now that he's done with the wife, he doesn't want to be financially responsible for child number 1. It does not work like that. In Texas, you have 4 years to challenge paternity if you are a presumed father, unless, number 1 being if the husband and wife did not live together or did not have any type of intercourse during the time this child could have been conceived, or number 2, if the husband was misled to believe he was the father. Unfortunately, my client does not fall into one of those 2 exceptions. He was not misled to believe that he was this child's father. He knew because they did a DNA test at the time the child was born. This child is over the age of 4 at this point, which means his statute of limitations has ran to challenge paternity. So according to Texas law, he is this child's legal father and he is financially responsible for him. The moral of this story is if you're going to decide to raise a child, whether they're yours or not, you better mean it.
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.
Prosecutor wants man who is not the biological father to still pay child support $16,000 arrears. We're just going to get straight into this one. Let's go.
Another order has found that another individual is the biological father of the child subject to this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Shout out to court archives.
State's proposal is as follows. Mr. Vasquez owes an unpaid child support balance of $16,054.87 as of March 31st, 2023. We are requesting a payout of $130 monthly beginning May 1st, 2023. A medical support judgment of $12,548.24 as of March 31st, 2023. State is requesting payout of $113 a month beginning May 1st, 2023. As is the practice, court costs to be billed to non-custodial parents 60 days from today. There was non-disclosure for Mr. Vasquez. Just want to verify it was prior or by judge.
Mr. Vasquez dropped, so he just rejoined again.
I am so sorry I lost connection.
So I'm not sure if he heard what your proposal was, but child support arrears, the state is requesting a judgment of $16,054.87 with a payout of $130. Medical support arrears, proposed judgment $12,548.24. On child support arrears, state is proposing a payout of $130. On the medical support arrears, state is proposing a payout of $113, both beginning May 1st. She's requesting court costs be billed to Mr. Vasquez and a non-disclosure finding to continue in your favor.
Leave it to the state to come after child support, knowing that that man there is not the father? How is this not illegal?
That's her proposal. So I just want to make sure that I know you disconnected by accident your connection. Okay, go ahead, Ms. Thomas.
Yes, Judge, if I may, I need to clarify the non-disclosure finding. I'm not finding in the prior order, but if I may proceed, I call Ms. Bautista. Ms. Bautista, did you hear the terms I stated to the court?
Yes, ma'am.
Do
Hello?
you agree with the state's request today?
Yes, ma'am.
You understand that our system stopped charging current child support and current medical support to Ms. Vasquez
Yes.
the day we found out about the order from CPS establishing someone else as the father?
Yes.
Do you have any safety concerns if your phone number and address were to appear in the court order today?
No.
Is this proposal in the best interest of your child?
Yes.
So-
I pass the witness.
Okay, well, 1 second. So because now I could get into my odyssey. So I know I heard what you said, but I want to make sure, you stated that another order has found that another individual is the biological father of the child subject to this case?
Right.
Yes, Your Honor. On May 5th, 2022, CPS did an order in the same cause, establishing Ronnie Lee Clements as the father for the child, Michelle Vasquez. But there was a prior AOP, and we had done the initial order in 2012, establishing Mr. Ricardo Vasquez as the father. There's no request for release, Your Honor, of arrears.
Okay, and so the state is requesting to confirm those monies from the prior order against Mr. Vasquez.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Although we're aware now that he's not the father, although he signed an acknowledgement of paternity, correct?
Yes, Judge.
She's not going for it. Thank goodness she's not going for it. This channel is sponsored by fathershaverights.com. So one of the experts in our prenup guide has over 20 years experience in divorce law. He says most people enter marriages with their eyes wide shut. Everyone is focused on the ring, proposal, makeup, venues, but no one thinks about things like alimony, property division, or custody. Are you a future husband who hasn't thought seriously about any of these things? If so, you need to understand that marriage is a legal contract with serious terms. Signing it without a prenup is like signing a blank 10-page contract. But the good news is it's not too late. Act now by clicking the link pinned to the top of the comment section and join the hundreds of men protecting their future marriages the right way.
Okay. Let me ask Mr. Vasquez something. You disagree with their request, Mr. Vasquez?
Yes.
Okay, I do too. I'm gonna have to refer it to district court though, because the relief that possibly you can get, I can't give you. I have a special jurisdiction on what I can rule on. My suggestion to you, Mr. Vasquez, is you need to go hire you an attorney and see what your legal options are. At this point, I am not going to move forward on their pleadings. I'm going to refer the case to district court. You need to hire an attorney. You got it?
Yes, ma'am.
I don't know if you guys saw the caption that popped up on the screen there, but it actually said he still has some very tough court battles ahead of him. This is just another blatant, obvious reason why we need mandatory DNA testing at birth.
Okay, so the case will be referred to district, and Ms. Bautista and Mr. Vasquez, can Ms. Thomas put your email addresses in the referral for district court, because the district court judge is going to set a hearing and they're going to send notice letters to you guys and they have to be able to contact you. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So is it okay that she put that in the order that I'm referring it to district, your email address, sir?
Yes, ma'am. Anything.
And ma'am, do you understand that they're going to have to send notice of the hearing to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. What else?
If I may, Your Honor, so sorry to interrupt you. Ms. Bautista is currently incarcerated.
Right.
I'm not 100% sure.
What? Oh
Or
man.
if she has access to email, may I include her mailing address?
Yes, Ms. Bautista, is that fine that she includes your mailing address, making sure you get notice of all hearings, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, yes.
I was
Is
wondering
there
why it looked so
anything else,
dark
Ms.
over there.
Thomas?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Okay, you both are free to go. You both will receive a copy of the referral, and you should be hearing about hearing dates from the district court coordinator. And either one of you can hire your own counsel. The Attorney General's office does not represent either one of you. They only represent the state of Texas, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, guys, there you go. As always, we're going to check out some of these comments, see what the people have to say. Top comment here says, a prime example of why paternity fraud should be made a punishable crime. Yes, agreed, this commenter says. I think there's going to come a day where this will be the case. I believe it.
So this is another one for legal TikTok. And y'all ain't really answered my last question, but I'm going to really need y'all to step up for this one because I am befuddled and bewildered. Parentage by estoppel? I don't know how you say that, but I'm going to need somebody to come here and explain that to me because that shit don't make sense to me. And for those of you who do not know what that is, because I myself just found this out a couple minutes ago because my father sent me a TikTok and I was like, this can't be real. Went over to the old Google and yes, it absolutely is real. So basically parentage by estoppel, whatever it is a precedent that says if you are dating a single parent and you help them take care of their child and y'all break up, they can take you to court for child support. They can take you to court for child support for a child that is not yours. Somebody explain this to me because it makes absolutely zero sense. You did not have this child. This person had this child when you met them, but because you were kind enough to step up and help out, now you're going to be responsible for this child for the rest of their life? Make it make sense. I am not understanding. And technically it can apply to anybody, but in all the cases that I saw when I actually looked it up, it was single mothers who were filing for child support from these men who were helping them take care of their children, and then they broke up and they still wanted this man to provide for their children. And I'm like, ma'am, where's this child's father? Where is this child's daddy? Because that is not that man's responsibility. He didn't even have to help you while y'all was together, but he was kind enough to do so. Now you trying to take him to court for this child that is not his because he don't want to be with you no more? Ma'am, let's be all the way for real with that. Like, are y'all serious? And I'm just trying to figure out what are the requirements? Like, if y'all went out on a date and you brought her child a goodie bag from the restaurant, are you now responsible for this child forever? Or does it mean like you guys were living together and you were the parent figure for this child and now you're leaving and that's when you're responsible? Like, I need some clarification because this shit does not make sense to me at all.
Okay, so boom. I was dating this girl for 5 to 6 years, right? She ended up getting pregnant. I signed the birth certificate because the dad did not want to. Our relationship did not work. She ended up dating the baby daddy again. And now they put me on child support. That kid. Shit is crazy.
Wait, I thought I've heard it all. Wait. So you're a stud, meaning you're a female. You have a girlfriend, and while being with the girlfriend, or right before y'all relationship, she got pregnant. She has the baby. The baby daddy, who's the real father, did not want to sign the birth certificate. So you stood up, right? You stood up. Yeah. So you stood up, right, and signed the birth certificate. Now the girlfriend left you, she's back with the baby daddy, and now they got you on child support paying for a kid that's not even yours. Oh, wow. First of all, child support is not supposed to be on your credit. All right, let's get that. So if you do have child support on your credit, I want you to comment the word CS, child support, CS, or the word child support itself. So come in CS or child support. I'll get you the child support deletion guide. Go get the stuff deleted from your credit. But I want to know your feedback on this. This is one of the craziest situations I've ever come across.
Somebody else here added, let's see, the fact that the mother who committed fraud is represented by the state and he has to hire a lawyer is sad. Very sick, isn't it? They're going to definitely bring their best to try and trap him in paying child support for another man's child because they get a cut of that money. Chances are she was probably on some type of government assistance and they're looking for a way to reimburse that government assistance. Somebody else here says the state is shady as hell from seeking money from a guy they know isn't the biological father. Very upsetting. If they just changed the law so that once they found out that, hey, this guy who we expect to pay us, who's been behind on child support, isn't the actual father, and he finally proved it, and they put that financial responsibility on the mom instead, then that would be fine as well. Somebody else here says the mom and the state should be charged with fraud. Another comment here says, dude needs a refund for all the support he paid to someone else's kid since 2014. And the mom is currently incarcerated. What the F? Here's somebody else who says, I'd rather sit in prison than be forced to pay for the upbringing of another man's child. Another person who says, lesson here, never sign an acknowledgement of paternity without having a DNA test. Somebody else here added, as soon as the prosecutors told the judge that he was not the biological father, judge should have thrown the case out and reprimanded the prosecutor. And someone responded back and says she did. I could tell that she heard what was going on, saw what the state was attempting to do, and that's not something that she was okay with signing off on. And you can assume that not every judge is the same, right? There are probably judges out there who the state can't wait to actually present these type of cases to because they just know that they're going to throw that man under the bus regardless. Another comment here reads, everybody in the room knows he's not the dad, but yet they want his money. This is what's wrong with the system. A lot of reform, a lot of change needs to happen. Somebody recently made a comment on my channel, and I don't want to single them out because they seem like a pretty loyal subscriber, somebody who's been watching for a while, and they were taken aback at how sobering these court videos are. And I understand. What's unfortunate is these are real stories. These are real people. They're actually going through this. And hopefully, as you pay attention, as you learn, you take more seriously protecting your seed, having sexual discipline, and making sure that you do what you can. But you should see, things can happen. Yes, I get it. But you do what you can to make sure you stay out of being attached first to the wrong woman, and in a situation like this, right? When in doubt, DNA test.
When a divorced dad was ordered to pay child support for a child who isn't his, he turned to our Target 8 investigators for help. We uncovered it's perfectly legal for the state to order him to pay support for another man's child and to deny biological fathers who want to pay from doing so. Target 8's Heather Walker exposes a law that's being called outrageous.
What's going on, buddy?
Joseph Shamilar is a divorced dad of two.
Yeah.
Not even 9 months after the split, Joe got some shocking news from his boys.
And they got in the car and they were bouncing up and down, telling me that mom has a new baby. And I said, well, is she babysitting? Is she, is she looking after someone?
So you didn't think it was real?
No, I had no idea.
His ex-wife had given birth. She had gotten pregnant during their separation by another man. Legally, she was still married to Joe. Court papers clearly acknowledge the baby is not Joe's, but Albert Bush's, and that Bush had established a personal, financial, or custodial relationship with the child. The court ordered medical expenses be split between the biological parents. But the Friday before Father's Day, Joe got a letter in the mail from friend of the court.
I thought, my God, this is hilarious. It's Father's Day weekend, and here's the biggest joke that I think I've ever had played on me transpiring right now.
The letter said he owed $8,500 in back child support plus medical expenses for a baby his ex-wife had with another man. So the court was asking you to pay for a child that's not yours.
Exactly.
I went to Ottawa County friend of the court office to get answers. How is this legal? Their spokesperson agreed to do an on-camera interview, but on the scheduled day changed his mind and would only answer our questions over the phone. He told us it didn't matter who the biological dad is, only what's in the best interest of the child. In other words, which one can take best care of the child financially. The court decided that was Joe.
Do you think this law needs to be changed in any way?
We went straight to the man who tried to fix the law, Senator Rick Jones.
I certainly would agree that if you're married to someone, they then run off and have a child by another man, that you should not have to pay child support. That seems a bit outrageous.
The original law was written back in 1956. It said if a child is born to a married woman, the biological dad has no legal rights. Last year, it was updated to allow husbands like Joe to fight financial responsibility.
What's the biggest problem with the law and the language, would you say?
It's not clearly drafted.
Melissa Drake is Joe's attorney. She tells us the law isn't just failing him, it's not working for biological dads either. Rob Recknagel says he's had trouble eating and sleeping since his son was born.
Every single day that goes by that I don't get to see him, it just gets tougher. I don't know what he looks like.
Rob says he searched online hospital nurseries just to see if he could find his son. He says he didn't know his girlfriend was still married when they got together. Rob says they were planning to blend their families. Rob bought a ring. But before she gave birth, Rob says he got this email saying although the baby was his, she was going to raise it with her husband.
I'm standing here saying I want my son in my life. I want to pay child support. Let's sign the proper documents and let me just do that.
You're trying to do the right thing.
That's all I want.
What can be done about this?
What can be done about this is people should be more responsible and shouldn't have sex outside of marriage, shouldn't father children outside of marriage, and should think before they act. That's what needs to happen. Could we do more? Yes. Could we fine-tune it? Yes. Should a father have to pay support on a child when it's not his child? No. So we do need to do more, but we've made some monumental changes.
Heather Walker reporting. Well, after we started questioning friend of the court, it dropped its request for Joe to pay child support. In fact, 10 days ago, an Ottawa County judge issued an order clearing Joe of all responsibility for that child. As for Rob, he was able to see his son, but only for an hour. He's still fighting in court to get legal rights for regular visits.
Hey guys, as always, I appreciate you checking out yet another episode of the Coffee Pod. To my currently engaged or soon to be married men, if you need a prenup and would like a guide that shows you how to get a solid and legally binding prenuptial agreement, hit the link into the top of the comment section and access your guide at fathershaverights.com today.